Hi everyone, it's Hatsy and I'm back with another build in The Sims 4. So today we are going to be making a base game house. I made one of these I think a few weeks ago and I had some problems with the footage of it because I'm a real idiot and I deleted pretty much everything because I wanted to clear out my computer to do an Adobe Premiere Pro update. Yeah, I think I explained it in a recent treehouse video, so if you want to hear the explanation as to what happened to that house, then it's on there. But yeah, so some of my builds actually disappeared because of that, and I thought I could get them back, but turns out it's very difficult. Even though I have this program that is supposed to do it, it's hard. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to start again. I'm going to build another base game house, even though I lost the footage in the last one. And I'm going to try really hard with this one because this is going to be my chance to prove to everyone that I can use the base game. And do you know what the crazy thing about this is? I actually didn't end up using the base game. Now, it is a base game house. However, I did, unfortunately, forget, I think, midway through, that one of the fireplaces that I used was from Get Together. So what I had to do was go back to the Sims 4 gallery after I uploaded the creation the night before I was going to do the video and everything. And yeah, I had to re-upload it with the fireplace removed. So now it is base game. But before, I forgot. I thought that it was base game, but it wasn't for like a night, and then I corrected it in the morning. So yeah, if you go to the Sims 4 gallery now and download it, then it will be base game. Yeah, so have fun with it. I really hope that this will be something that you'll be able to use if you do have the base game, and if you do use it, I would love to know what you do with it because that's always interesting. And yeah, I wanted to do a base game house because it's been something that's been requested for a while to do, and I think as more and more packs come out, I think if you do just have the base game, it can be quite frustrating to see all this like new content released, and I think that it's important to do a mixture of things on the channel because I'm not very good at balancing, sort of what I do in terms of builds. But I genuinely think it's about time I started doing that and just doing a mix of base game houses just including like a certain pack, things like that, because other people do it, but I've just never done it in the past because I've only really done what's interested me. But I'm going to try to do some different styles of builds. And I like this one because it's a house that everyone can enjoy. I mean, as long as you don't have a pirated copy of the game, then you can get this. I found this really cool picture of a party house and I thought, okay, base game party home, why not? But then I realised after doing the interior that we don't really get a lot of things that are base game, which are fun. So there's that. However, the good thing is you can add whatever you have to it and you can make it your own. So if you do have certain packs, like for instance, if you do have Perfect Patio. Now I didn't realise, but Perfect Patio is the only pack in the whole of The Sims 4 that includes hot tubs, to my knowledge. So yeah, as of now, I mean, in the future, if you're watching this in a year, then I'm probably going to get some like random person outsmarting me like, actually, Hattie, it's not the only pack. There is this one now. However, yeah, so what I would do, for instance, if you had that, I would add a hot tub to the left of the build and have like an outdoor one. So where that really boring fountain is, that's what I would have there. But I like this house. I don't know, there's something about it which just seems interesting. I actually have been cutting down the amount I go on the gallery because I go through phases of going on the gallery so much and getting obsessed. I'm one of those people. So yeah, I love going on the gallery. I always like reply to people on that and I love to see, how many downloads things have got. It's just, I don't know why, but that really interests me. So yeah, with this one I had to limit myself because I've been on the gallery a lot recently. So yeah, anyway, as we're doing the outside of the house, there really isn't a lot to tell you. Now, some of you have been missing the sort of random story times I tell in these builds because I actually have been talking about the builds a lot recently. I do go off in tangents a lot, but besides that, I think I've been doing pretty well. No, it's all been great. What can I say? I've had a great time the past month or so. It's been a really chilled out time. I mean, today, the biggest drama that happened was I went to Dunelm with my husband, and as we were getting out the car, there was this woman getting in her car next to us, and she just like shook her head at my husband's driving, but he didn't do anything wrong. Like, he was fine. He was absolutely good. You know, he's a good driver. So yeah, anyway, as we got out the car, she reversed her car, and I walked past like the front of her car, and I think that she was gonna run me over or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, she was a bit crazy, but you know, you're always gonna get crazy people in this world, especially if you go out with me, because I'll tell you what, I don't know how this happens, but I'm like a magnet to crazy people, I swear. It happens all the time. And yeah, so there's that. Anyway, I was creating a rock pool here, so that was interesting. And I figured out that the rocks that I wanted to use were actually seats from outdoor retreats. That was quite unfortunate. So this took ages, but I think it looks okay. You may have to use BB move objects with this build. I don't know if you will though, but I thought this was a pretty interesting feature. It's actually not usable, so I'm sorry about that, but you can make it usable if you want to. I think you can add a ladder there if you want. Yeah, so another thing about the build as well is I realised that I didn't actually make that balcony area accessible whatsoever. And I went back a day after and just corrected it. So you can get on the balcony now. I think it's a great house, honestly. I don't think I've ever done a build like this before. It sort of reminds me of something that you may see be made into apartments somewhere, maybe in like Florida, America, you know, somewhere like that. I don't know. Just, I'm not great with, you know, where to find certain suburban looking houses, but I think that I've seen something similar to this probably once when I went to Florida, and it looked pretty good. So there's that. And I quite enjoyed just the different colours. I don't know, I think it looks good together. So yeah, I went crazy with the landscaping, so I'm really sorry for this. This is a mess, and wow, I just ruined this. Do you know what happened? I was up till really late doing this. Why do I always build so late? I honestly don't know. I swear, it must have been like 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning when I was building this. And yeah, no reason. I think maybe the coffee got to me and it just made me go over the top with the plants. So if my plants ever end up like this, if you ever watch a build video and you think, wow, she really overdid those plants, that was probably me building it at 3 o'clock in the morning after having too much coffee and just going too far with it. I take things too far. I'm one of those people, but this is insane. It just gets more and more. It gets to the point where we wasted like a lot of money just unnecessarily on this build. And also, Zest is back. So if you don't know who Zest is, well, you may not have played The Sims. However, he is a crazy character, right? He's everywhere in the town, and I don't know, I always seem to end up with him in my builds. I don't know what it is, but yeah, he was the one that was like testing it all out, because I always make sure that my builds are gameplay tested before I put them on the gallery so that they work. I don't know how many people understand this as well, like if you haven't watched Breaking Bad before. This is a really strange topic. However, I was thinking at this moment, like at this point when I was doing the landscaping, what if Zest was sort of based off Jesse from Breaking Bad? Now, I don't know if this is true, and I don't even know when, oh my goodness, I don't even know when Breaking Bad was made. However, this is really strange. So I would imagine Zest to be sort of a disappointment to the Landgrabs, because they're quite a wealthy family, and they sort of kicked him out in the desert area, and you know, maybe he's got some issues. But that really got me thinking, like, what if that's the hidden message behind Zest? That's insane, isn't it? But yeah, it's probably not. It's probably just some random tiny they put in. So yeah, I would imagine that that's the kind of person that he is. But hey, I've been watching a lot of Breaking Bad recently, so that's probably that too, because I swear I will link everything back to that now. I love it. I think it's like the 4th time I've watched it. So yeah, to me, Zest is like Jesse. That's just it. So that's why I was thinking that. And if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, then you won't know what on earth I'm going on about. And There we have it. So this was the garden area. The garden was really plain. And I definitely wasn't happy with it. But to be honest, it's really difficult to do modern styles of gardens. Because I would imagine that a lot of, you know, modern builds don't really have a lot of plants. Just in my opinion. And I think the problem with this as well was the fact that because I was using base game, I couldn't jazz up the garden with anything interesting. So I couldn't put in like that water splash thing for kids. I couldn't do anything like that. So yeah, had some issues. So yeah, doing the front path, I didn't add a car or anything. Maybe I should have added a red car for Zest. Yeah, maybe. But I didn't. I just was making sure that it fitted into Oasis Springs at this point. And that's another thing. I haven't built an Oasis Springs for a very long time. Like a very long time. I hardly ever build in this world because I think that it's a really difficult one to build in. I honestly thought this was really strange. But when I first downloaded The Sims 4, I would have betted my life that Oasis Springs was Strange Town. And then when I clicked on it, I was thinking, hang on, there's nothing strange about this. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, that didn't last very long. And I'm sorry if I've got anyone's hopes up, because in case you thought it was Strange Town, yeah, it's not. It's Oasis Springs and nothing strange happens here. So something that I really like about the recent modern houses that I've done, not to blow my own trumpet on this one, but I've tried to make the outside of the house look sort of open but protected. So yeah, a lot of people really enjoyed the last modern build that I did, and what I did was I sort of put the dining room table outside and inside, so it was sort of very open plan at the front of the house. So I tried to do something similar with this one because, you know, I sort of wanted it to resemble the last one that I did in a way, but just be base game so that everyone can use it. So yeah, moving on to the interior of the build. The interior is really odd, so brace yourselves. I don't know how to explain it. Why is it pink on the inside? This must have been like 4 AM now when I was doing this. I don't know. But yeah, it was late. And I wasn't fully happy with where this was going. I think maybe this is the worst room of the build. I think if you can get past this, then you can get past the rest of it. Because the kitchen is something that I was really proud of, but I've been working on kitchens a lot recently. Oh, something really weird as well. So when I did go to Denell, so I bought some like random mirrors for the house today and stuff. And I was trying to pick light fixtures with James, and I picked up a load of them. And he gave me a really strange look, and he said to me, "Why have you picked the exact same light fixture for the whole of the house?" And I just paused for a second and I thought, oh my goodness, it's because I do it in The Sims. That's why I've picked the same lights fixture for the whole of my real house. It's because I'm thinking about my Sims 4 interiors. Yeah, I think I've lost the plot slightly. That was crazy. But yeah, so going on to the inside. Now, I wanted this to be really open plan. And I sort of wanted it to be for maybe just Zest. Yeah, I don't think that this is the sort of interior that I would imagine Zest to have in his home. Maybe it would all be empty and there'd be like graffiti on the walls and stuff. I don't know. That's what I imagine him to be like. Personally, I think it works in the end. There's lots of like greys and creams throughout, but I do think that it works. So yeah, I did have a lot of dining room tables as well. Now, I don't know why, because there is really only one person living here, or I pictured it for like 1 or 2 people. But hey, if you have guests over, it's great. That's why I called it a party house. I was trying to mix up the colours that I use in the build here, so I thought I would dare a red colour, but actually no. But I do feel like I need that more in my builds. I think that I need to start not using so many neutral colours and start risking it a bit and doing some crazy stuff. So yeah, if you have any ideas of just random rooms that you want me to recreate in some of these builds that I do, then send them over because I can, and I'll try and include them. Really weird. I've noticed in the community recently, room builds are getting really popular. Can anyone tell me why? Is it because they're sort of like reasonably short to watch, I guess? I don't know. But I've noticed like a lot of people starting to do room builds, and hey, people really enjoy them. Maybe I'm missing out. Maybe I need to start doing room builds instead of just doing like massive speed builds. I have no idea. I'm very lost. I'm very lost and I don't follow any trends. Please help. So anyway, onto the kitchen. The kitchen was unusual because I did something really weird with that light in the middle, but I liked it. Do you know, it reminded me of my old house. I used to live in this weird home, and that was when I lived in Kidderminster before I moved out to Switzerland. And when I lived there, the kitchen that I had these really weird lights sort of dangling from the ceiling. And all I remember about them was the fact that my dad had to just keep replacing them like every 2 weeks because they just kept they kept switching off and never turning back on again. The bulbs kept going, so yeah, there we go. So anyway, moving on to the study. I had a spare room here, so I thought I would include a study. And I have to say it's probably not my favourite room in the build, just because I didn't know what to do with it. So I wasn't getting any immediate ideas for the study either. It wasn't as if I had a vision in my head of what I wanted it to look like. No, it was quite a hard room to decorate, so bear with me on this one because it changes around a lot. But I think it looks okay in the end. I was trying to use some items in this room that I haven't used before, like that picture on the wall. This is where I messed up big time, so please ignore this. But also, just know that it is not like this anymore. I did make a mistake. I thought that fireplace was base game. I don't know why. I have no idea. That was supposed to be a sauna or like a stone room without it being a stone room because it's a base game build. But I was trying to include some fun rooms that you could be creative with if you don't have those packs. Because of course you can include a sauna if you want to into there, but you have to have the pack to do it. But I think it's really strange because the saunas that we do get are just nothing like I've seen before. Because, I don't know, maybe English saunas are different, but the saunas that I've been in, because I used to have a sauna in my old house, it was like a wooden room, and it was very claustrophobic, and it had lots of seats as well. So what would happen is, like, say you went in with a group of people, so you'd end up lying down on like the bottom floor, and it was as if you were on a bunk bed sort of thing. It was really weird. And I didn't use it a lot because it was very claustrophobic in there, but apparently saunas are really good for you. Anyway, moving on to this bedroom. So what I did is instead of having two separate bedrooms, I tried something a bit different, and I had like a sitting room and then the bedroom separately to it. I think it worked out okay, and I think I prefer it like that rather than having two rooms there, but if you did want to have an extra bedroom, you could. So yeah, this is the last floor in the whole of the build. I don't think I've missed anything out, so good. But this is supposed to be the most modern place. So yeah, I was really happy with how it turned out, and I was actually really happy to see that that rug is base game, because I didn't think that it was when I saw it, but turns out it is. And this is supposed to be an area that your Sims can go up and watch TV in. You can play on some instruments, and there's some music up here as well. And then there's just one more bedroom. It's not overdone, I don't think. I think that it looks great. I'm really happy with how this build turned out. Anyway though, that is the end of it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see your future ones. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.